Structured data means every value we maintain here, it is clearly defined. Every value we maintain, it is clearly defined. మనం స్టోర్ చేసే ప్రతి వాల్యూ కూడా క్లియర్ డిక్లరేషన్స్ అనే ఉంటాయి. So what type of data you are storing? So what is the size of the data? Any conditions like min value, max value, any constraints are there? Everything, if they are clearly defined, we call it structured data. The best example is database tables. Semi-structured data. Every value we store, it will have some format, but they don't have any declarations there. Format ఉంటుంది కానీ like databases, you don't have any declarations. Based on some mutual agreement, the data will be stored. Based on the mutual agreement between the parties, the data will be stored. Like for example, XML data. Okay, CSV data. CSV ante comma separated values. JSON data, JavaScript object notation. These data, based on some mutual agreement, the data is stored. Like for example, suppose in an application, some employee data should be maintained. The team members, developers, clients, everyone, what they will do? They want to maintain some data like this. First, they have to store employee number, next name, next designation, and then salary. Like that, they have declared the format. So every value must be stored in this format. So 101, Suresh, manager, 75,000. So the values separated by comma, they are stored. 102, Ramesh, so admin, so 25,000. So that's what the format there. So based on the mutual agreement, the data will be stored. The values separated by comma. First value represents employee number, second value name, third one designation, fourth one salary, like this. That is semi-structured data. The third one, unstructured data. No format, nothing, no mutual agreement. The data can be of any form. The data can be of any size. When we take like maps, when we take like graphics files, some can be of PNG format, some can be of GIF format. They can be of any form or any style. So we call it unstructured data. So to maintain such type of data, and in our application, to maintain such type of data, we need the concept of databases. Databases are used to maintain the application's data. File systems are like databases. Actually, in market, there are two type of databases available. What are they? SQL databases. Second one, NoSQL databases. NoSQL means not only SQL. NoSQL means not only SQL, NoSQL databases. SQL databases, these databases are used to store. They are used to store structured data. When we take NoSQL databases, they are used to store what? Semi-structured or unstructured data. Okay, they are used to store semi-structured or unstructured. And you can maintain structured data also. అయితే structured data అంటే SQL databases easy to work. Okay, now SQL databases easy to work. But NoSQL databases, mostly they are used for storing semi-structured or unstructured data. The best examples for SQL databases, we can use Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MS SQL, SQL Server, SQLite, ఇవన్నీ కూడా they come under SQL databases. No SQL databases when we take MongoDB. Currently, the number one database software, MongoDB. Mean stack, mon stack అంటుంటారు. M అంటే it stands for MongoDB there. So MongoDB. Then we have like Hive, Cassandra, Resina Cassandra కదా ఆమె హీరోయిన్. Here Cassandra is a database software name. అంటే I will tell. అంటే actually we call them RDBMS packages. RDBMS packages contain SQL and PLSQL or TSQL and కూడా. We will see it. But Cassandra, like Apache DB, like that plenty of NoSQL databases available. Actually, this word called databases, this was introduced around 1960s. 1960s. So the company started using databases in the mid of 1970s. Almost 1975, 1980. At that time, many companies, they started maintaining their data in databases. But before 1970s or before 1980s, before 1960s, then also IT companies are there. Then also business organizations are there. 1950s lo kuda you have computers are used by companies. Avuna kada? So they are using. So at that time, how these organizations, they are maintaining their data. I told you file handling in Python, file handling in Java, generally file programming, programmatically will create and maintain two type of files. Text files, random access files. Text file means this is a text file. And everything it is stored as a sequence of characters. Random access files, data files and kuda antam. The data are maintained as a collection of records. The data, they are maintained as a collection of records. So like this. But nowadays, no business organization, they are maintaining their data in the form of files. They are going for databases. Small organizations, Excel. Medium-sized organizations, SQLite, MySQL, PostgreSQL. Large-scale organizations, Oracle, SQL Server, like that. And depending on the size of organization, they are using the corresponding database softwares. So, okay, once a database is introduced, every organization started using them. But before databases, when there is no concept of DBMS, how they are using? Hard disk. Even everything is stored in hard disk also. So, the organizations, they are maintaining their data in the form of file systems. Business organizations, earlier, when there is no concept of databases, they are maintaining their data in the form of files. What is a file?
You can store the programs in multiple types of programs.
To store records.
So, generally, normally when you take file, and according to programming language, C, C++, according to this programming language, what is a file means? It is the memory location where you store data. Okay, it is a memory location where you store data. So actually, that's what we used to discuss. What is the difference between variable and file, something like this. Variable is the name of memory location where data are stored. But variables means memory created in RAM, computer memory. File also name of memory location where data are stored in hard disk. ఇప్పుడు when you have watched through my C language videos, మీరు ఆ videos చూసారు అనుకోండి. So there, yeah, just what is a variable, 1 hour I have discussed there. What is a variable, to understand it, 1 hour I have discussed. So that's what there means. So files, uh, they are stored in computer hard disk. Variables, they are maintained by compilers. Files are maintained by operating systems. So how the variable information maintained by translate, ante compile ante translators, C++ compilers, Java JVM, and Python JavaScript interpreters, translators will maintain. How they will maintain the data? So symbol table. The information about a variable. ఇప్పుడు మనం ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో వేరియబుల్స్ డిక్లేర్ చేసాం. How the variable information it will maintain? For that it will be using symbol table. Variable name, starting address, size of the variable in the form of number of bytes. Like for example, there is a variable a. The starting address 1010. So it needs 4 bytes అనుకోండి. అంటే from the address 1010 up to 1013, these 4 addresses are occupied by this variable. అంటే to store 1 byte of data, it needs 1 address. So how many bytes required? Those many addresses it will store. Then the file information is maintained through FAT, File Allocation System, or NTFS, New Technology File System. అక్కడ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు. There, how the data is maintained? File name, starting address, size, like this. Normally file means it is some address where you are storing some data. Kapade permanent storage. But according to databases, what is a file? What Arif? What is a file? ఇప్పుడు we are
Sir,
not talking
collection of
about
them.
normal files, text files, images, audio, ఇవి కాదు. Everything is a file. C program, Java program, bytecode, ఆ files కాదు. In terms of business data, what is a file? Huh? Documents. So we can define a file as an organized collection of related records. అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? 101. ఓకేనా? Arif, Python, Hyderabad, 20,000. This is one record. 102, Mysore sandal. Okay na? Let me, Mysore sandal. So 100 grams. Karnataka Soaps Limited. 75 rupees. ఎంతమ్మా? 75 ఉంటుందా? ఓకే. నెక్స్ట్ 103. So masala dosa, 1 piece, 150 rupees. 104, Dilshuk Nagar to Kukatpalli. So 10, or let it be 70. Then 105, D Django. Okay, now D Django. So 530, 630, Kiran. This is a set of records. These a set of records. Avuna kada? So can I call it a file? Can I call this collection of records as a
Yes,
file?
sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir. File.
Huh?
It's
Authorized.
called a file, sir.
Organized అంటే they are organized. Roll number, name, course joined, address, fees. ఎందుకు irrelevant? లింక్ లేదా? Is there no link between them? Let's wait. ఒక్క నిమిషం. Or if they are telling that there is no link between the records, is there no link?
Yes, sir. Link it is.
They are telling that the offline students, they are telling that they are not related.
Yes, sir.
Are they
It's
not related?
related to database.
Definitely they are related. Or if who is a Python student bathing with Mysore sandal, having masala dosa, catch a bus towards Kukatpalli, dropped at Amirpet, and he joined Kiran sir Django class at 5:30. ఇంకా అంతకంటే రిలేషన్ ఏముంది? ఇప్పుడు అర్థం కాలే? అయిందా కాలేదా? మరి సో దే ఆర్ రిలేటెడ్ రికార్డ్స్. చెప్పాను కదమ్మా, ఇంకా అంతకంటే లింక్ నేనేమి ఇచ్చేది?
Meaning of that one we can understand, sir. If we haven't given like comments in such a way, while we are seeing newly, we can't understand that one, sir. You know, Arif, whether that's why you told all the story, right, sir? Then we understand. If you haven't told us that, we wish to think that it is not a relevant value.
So why they are not related? Because they are not representing information about same context. The first record providing information about a student. Second record providing information about an item in a supermarket. Third one, item in a hotel. Fourth one, a bus transport. Fifth one is a class session. So in that way, they are not related. So what is the meaning of related here? Means a student file must contain student data only. Employee file must contain employee data only. So that is what the meaning of related records. Then what is the meaning of organized collection? Well structured, well formatted. Like the first value must be roll number, second value must be name, third value must be course. So which value, where it is stored, it must be clearly defined. Next, what is a record?
Whatever is right off, or whatever that happens.
ఆ రోనే మనం రికార్డ్ అంటాం.
Collection of the data.
The data can be a file, the data can be a record, the data can be a field, it can be anything. What is a record?
Sir, collection of data to store is called a
Record
record.
is nothing but it is a collection of related fields. It is a collection of related fields. Like for example, a record, roll number, employee name, price, so existing balance, platform number. So these are the fields of a record. Are they related? No. Kada. For roll number about student, EMP number about employee, price about a product, balance about an account, platform number about a train. So how they are related? So a student record, like for example, roll number, name, course, the data relevant to the student we are maintaining. Employee record, the data relevant to the employee we are maintaining. Collection of related fields, we call it a record. Then what is a field? ఇదే ఇంగ్లీష్లో వచ్చిన తలనొప్పి ఇదే. Suddenly we get confused. Is it FIELD, FEILD? ఇప్పుడు సెంటర్ అని రాయాల్సి వస్తుంది. సో వెన్ వీ వాంట్ టు రైట్ సెంటర్, విచ్ సెంటర్, విచ్ వన్ ఈస్ కరెక్ట్? మీట్ ఎట్ అమీర్పేట్ సెంటర్ అన్నాం, విచ్ సెంటర్ వీ విల్ రైట్? అదే, అందుకే ఇంగ్లీష్ ని వదిలేండి, అమ్మాయిలు ఉన్నారు. So what is a field? Is it the correct spelling, ma? Huh? చూసారా, అదే మిమ్మల్ని నార్మల్ గా రాయమంటే యూ విల్ రైట్ FIELD ఓన్లీ. బట్ వన్స్ ఐ క్వశ్చన్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద స్పెల్లింగ్, కరెక్టేనా? So what is a field? A field is nothing but it is an individual data item in a record. It is nothing but an individual data item in a record. So that is what exactly we call it a field. So earlier, the business data, they are maintained in the form of files here. So once a file is created, what are the various operations we can perform on a file? So these operations, actually we are calling them CRUD operations. Some people, they say like CURD because they are food lovers, curd. Some people call it curd operations. ఇప్పుడు ఆమె అనింది కదా హరిత, కర్డ్ అన్నారు కదా మధ్యాహ్నం హాస్టల్లో వేయలేదా ఏమి? సో different people will call different ways. CRUD operations, CURD operations, CUD operations. So whatever it is up to you. There is no buttermilk, only curd. Okay. So what is C? C stands for create.
Great.
Then R stands for
Retrieve.
read. The same thing in SQL operations, we call it select.
Select.
Then U stands for
Update.
update. Then D stands for delete. These are the operations we can perform on it. Like for example, Varshniti people, they are maintaining the student data in a file. A new student joined some course, so his data is added to the file. So add a new record, it's a create operation. And one day Murli sir asked, so who are the students attending Django classes? Then we have to read or we have to retrieve an existing record. Okay, so this is the next one. A student has the fee balance of 10,000. So he paid the balance. Then what we have to do? We have to modify an existing record. A student has completed the course, certificates given, then get out. So remove an existing record. So these are the different operations we can perform on a file. Okay, na? Now, ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, I'll show you. Everything I used to store. Mali or draw చేస్తారు. So when we see here, whatever the data exactly we are maintaining here, whatever the data exactly we are maintaining here, that data we call it data files or random access files. Okay, now data files are random access file. So these files, they contain business data as a collection of records, files and records. Then how to create a file, how to perform various CRUD operations on it. Ante, for that purpose, we have to create a set of programs. We call them application programs. So what is the purpose of these application programs? They are used to create and maintain the data files. Data files, random access files. Ante they store data as a collection of records. So this is what exactly we call file systems under. Earlier, before databases, the data about the business organization, they are maintained in the form of files like this. Then how these files are created? For that purpose, we are using the conventional programming language, C, C++, Java, C#, .NET, PHP, Python. Particularly, there is a language available called COBOL. ఇప్పటికి కూడా many organizations are using it. IBM mainframes. There they will be using COBOL language for coding, common business oriented language. Uh, C, COBOL almost same in the like 3-4 years gap they are introduced. American Department of Defense Department people, they introduce it this language. Miku Python you have indentation problem, right?
Yes.
That rule actually it's available in COBOL. If a row contains totally 80 columns, at every column what you write, they will tell. So line column number 1, you have to use for this purpose only. Column number 10, you have to use for this purpose only. Otherwise, it will not work. After COBOL, Python introduces that rule. But leave it. So the business data, earlier they are maintained in the form of file systems like this. The business data, they are maintained like. So what should be our question here? When there is some file system available to maintain the business data, why should we go for a database? What is the need of a database? When C is available, C++ came.
So file system is, I can store, for suppose I have a branches, like Ravindra Bharti.
Branches, sir.
Like I have
No,
some,
sir.
for example, Ravindra Bharti school itself, sir.
Hmm.
If I have only
Mida
one,
adi.
not mine, sir,
Huh?
I'm telling you example, sir. If I have only one school or one particular branch, then I can use file system to store the data. It will take somewhat of time, sir. If I have plenty of branches, like in Amilbed one, I have like, for suppose Russian IT we take it, Amilbed if we have one type of a history. And in SR Nagar, we have one type of, for suppose, sir, not damn sure, sir. In such way, multiple types of branches.
We can ask Prithvi sir after completing the class. If at all a branch is there, SR Nagar, I will take care of it. And Kukutpalli, they are planning, you will be in charge of it. Remember, I am giving the answer. You know Indian railway system.
Yes, sir.
This software, it was built on C language first. The railway system that was developed in India, it was built using C language. Now later they may be using some .NET or Java or something using database. But earlier, this railway system, entire the application which is running over the entire India, it was built using C language. Even you can find in some stations, before entering, they will keep a kiosk where when you type one upward journey, 200 downward journey, if you want to check any PNR status, they will keep a small device there, kiosk, a character blinking something like yellow color something. Chudachu, when you go there, you can see. It was first built on C language. Food Corporation of India, central government organization. Their software was built on C++ Unix environment. Indian railway system C Unix environment. Earlier, these are softwares, they are built on C, C++, these languages only. From 90s or from 2000, they started migration to database. But earlier, they are client server applications built using normal programming language. So when there is some concept already available, already working, then why should we go for a new one? Adi every time నేను మీకు ఫస్ట్ నుంచి అదే చెప్పింది. So definitely C is a powerful language. C++ powerful language. Why we went for Java? Why we went for Java?
Global, for securing data, sir, encapsulation of data.
C++ encapsulation ఉంది కదమ్మా.
No, sir. Actually, data is as compared to the C of Java. Java is means vast language and open source. So any system you can use.
C++
So
also open
Sir,
source.
but this one,
open source, but as
Java,
compared to C++, there are a
You
lot of
give
means
me
inbuilt.
direct answer. నాకు కావాల్సింది గన్ షాట్ ఆన్సర్. When C++ very powerful language, definitely they are powerful. ఎందుకనంటే Java Core libraries taken from C, Windows Unix operating system, Oracle database, Google softwares, Microsoft softwares. Whatever the softwares we are seeing today, the basic libraries are derived from C and C++. If there is no C, then you don't have this much computing environment. Clear ga cheppanu history of Java to build platform independent applications for consumer electronic appliances. Cheppana leda? So that's what. Ante in the real world, nothing is 100% perfect. Everything will have an advantage and a simultaneous drawback also. So to overcome those drawbacks, a new concept will come. Definitely when we take, so earlier the business organizations, they are maintaining their data in the form of file systems. Why? At that time, as Misbah said, so they won't have many branches, like the size of organization is small. The amount of they are maintaining, the amount of data is limited. At that case, it is okay. But business means gradually the organization grows. Once the organization grows, automatically the data will also increase. Earlier, version IT, 25 years back, they started with SAP only. And after 5 years, they added different modules on SAP, but only one building. Once programming came, they started programming also. And some new courses added, new faculty added, new students added, one more branch started. And they have taken a block in Aditya Enclave. And there is more demand for programming in the same Aditya Enclave, one more block they have taken. Now they started testing. Now they started DevOps, AWS. So this block they have taken. Gradually in the market, a business organization grow. Automatically the data will grow. Once the data started growing, file systems, they are unable to maintain such large volumes of data. అంటే దే కెన్ మెయింటైన్. ఇప్పుడు ఇండియన్ రైల్వే సిస్టమ్ కంటే పెద్ద డేటా ఏముంది ఇండియాలో? డెఫినెట్లీ ఇట్స్ వెరీ బిగ్ డేటా. ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఎల్ఐసి, వీ హ్యావ్ ఎస్బిఐ. But really it's a very big data, Indian railway system. Definitely they are maintaining C language, but still maintaining the business data in the form of files, the organizations, they faced many limitations, they faced many drawbacks. That's why to overcome those drawbacks, the concept of databases has come. అదే నేను చెప్పింది, ఇన్ ద రియల్ వరల్డ్ నథింగ్ ఈజ్ 100% పర్ఫెక్ట్. Every advantage will have its own limitation. Every limitation will have its own solution. So while working with the file systems, the organizations, they encountered number of limitations there. That's why to overcome those limitations, the concept of databases has come. So what are the limitations of file systems and how databases overcome those limitations? This topic we will see in the tomorrow session. ఎందుకని చెప్తున్నానంటే strictly telling, so programming you can find from any website. Programming you can find from any YouTube video. But there are some concepts needed that we must understand. Okay, so that's why here, before going to database programming, we will discuss a bit theory part about DBMS. Meeku already, if you have idea of DBMS, you might have heard. Like we'll be discussing limitations of file systems, and then how databases will overcome them, ACID properties, and then how to construct a database models. The two important models, ER modeling, relational model. After that, how to start the concepts of database programming. In that way, we are going to do. But because we are asked particularly to take classes a little bit slow for today and tomorrow, so I'm stopping the class now. So tomorrow we'll see what are the limitations of file systems and how database will overcome those limitations.